says I'm streamed. Hey, okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
I thought you were asking the outside
Uh,
world and all its glorious splendor.
well, I just did. So let's see. Select the image. I'm getting logged into
Mm.
that effing site. Making sure. Yeah, I'm streaming. I have a stream.
Oh, it says live. Mary, you're clinically alive. We're going to have to find
Yay!
a cure for that immediately. Have you thought of GMO food or maybe some, what else do they have?
I've
Maybe some fluoride in your water, perhaps?
I've considered it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
would it be considered suicide if you died and you already knew there was shit in your? Oh well. Anyway, well, where I left off, can I? Do I just pick up, or do you want to? What do you want to do?
Well, let's make sure that they're okay. I still have a swirly on. Okay, Solvener hears us. Hi, Solvener. How you doing, Walter? I listened to you for a while this
Ah,
morning,
there he is. Yeah.
and then I went out and looked for my cat some more.
Poor
But I had you
cat.
going. So, okay. Yep. Solvener hears us. So go for it, Flash.
Yay. Okay. Well, I'm just totally stuck on this idea that the driver's license is the gateway to your future enslavement, and we were warned about it through the paperwork in the beginning, and over the last 50, 60 years they've just changed the direction of certain words and different ideas, and people are so compliant to please the state now to get what they deserve. And wow, that's not freedom.
No. Nope.
Well, I'm against the whole what do you call it, the value-based system that we live in. A lawyer isn't any more valuable to me than a doctor. If if my plumbing's flowing over, a doctor ain't going to help me. So I thought about it one day. So value is all relative to your needs, but that isn't how society operates.
Well,
It's a weird topic, and I don't spend a lot of time really talking out loud with anybody about it. So it's mostly in my head. Well, I look at the results of where we are as people and how we get along with each other and so on. And then I try to figure out, where did it start to get where it is now. Certain things had to be forced. What we're living is not a natural flow of life, it's a forced, confined, restraint, stop people from thinking for themselves kind of life. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I guess the compliance thing, I don't even want to be one of those butt nuggets that says, "Well, I've got the answer," because I don't have an answer for you. But what I do have is the knowledge that the information you're operating on is bullshit, and it's proven to be bullshit. Yet you're still doing it when you don't have to, and I can't for the world justify joining you. So there's the divide and conquer right there in its simplest form.
Yeah, but sometimes I think, well, okay, I'm just going to speak for myself because really,
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, Grandma, I'm trying to figure out why the volume is so low. I can't get it to be louder.
Is it
You
you
know,
or me?
that's
Both of us.
um well, let's see here. Let me try something else.
Mm.
Go into my mixers and do. Is that any better? Oh yeah, that's way better. Way better.
Holy freakers balls, Batman. What did you do?
I went into my volume mixer.
Mm. Remember, I was trying to ask Cirque about that earlier, and she, for the world, didn't translate. Just however I was asking, it didn't work.
Yep.
That was what I was trying to find out. Yeah.
Well,
There you go, man. People. We're all just crazy fucking people, man, trying to live. But I don't know. Other people have told me that whenever I take advantage of the freedoms that I feel I deserve, I hurt somebody else in their game. As an argument, I mean, they would really justify, but the police and this and the laws and the rules, and you're breaking them, and that's why they're there. And I was trying to explain to them, no, the reason I'm breaking the rules is because they're bullshit. Hmm. Okay, so it's me. What if I scream into the mic a little bit?
oh, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have contact.
Yeah, because I'm doing. Of course, I still have the ocean's roar in my ears, but I don't
Wow.
know if that's something in my settings that I just need to.
No, that was me.
Oh, well, duh. I know that. Ding fod.
I can't help it. I was born like this.
Okay, let me turn the. I'm adjusting the volume. Okay, now say
I
something else, Flash.
something else, Flash.
Yeah, you're still lower.
I'm
And
still lower. Okay, I talk a little bit more into the thing there, man. How's that?
kick that one
Because
up.
I
Okay, now.
really want to, I really want to get into this next paragraph of that post. It's just amazing to me that we have been duped so badly, and that when you try to discuss it with other people, the one discussing the dupe is the one that looks like the dupe.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sad. It's a game that was designed way before we ever came around, and they even wrote about it. If one in a million figures it out, nobody will listen to them.
True, because, that one in a million will look like the nut job.
Who was it that was talking about critical thinking on the radio? Was that you, or might have been Vince yesterday? But I don't know. I was yeah, it was Jose, and I was thinking at the time when he was saying what he said. Critical thinking just takes place. You don't plan it. You don't experience. It just happens. You don't expect it like a train. It just shows up, and then when you tell other people what you thought after the laughter dies down, then 10 years go by and they go, "Wow, how did you know?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, and see, sometimes I think each individual thinks they're doing their own critical thinking, and yet everyone else is looking at them like you are a freaking nut job. It's not until someone else is prepared to hear it that
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, till you hit whatever wall you got to break down to be available for it, you're stuck in a cell. And you're the one stuck in the cell thinks they're free. They don't really know they're not. It's such a beautifully written game. I wish I would have thought of it.
yeah, but you're a half Jewy bastard, so
Well, yeah, I'm. The paper. Yeah, the paper. Me and Cirque just bust a gut with all this crap. That she's a Dane and subject of the Queen and all that. We laugh at that shit. If that's what these people want to believe, that's what they want to believe. And it's no more or less real than if I decided I was the king of Flash Mania. The difference is I don't run around with a lot of money paying people to believe me and make it bigger like Donald Trump.
yeah.
I mean, if I had 100 people that was following me around because I was supporting them, I'd be a big shot too, right? But what in the fuck is with that? I mean, the whole mindset behind this leadership and this guy's rich and he knows how to do stuff, it's just a bunch of crap. I mean, to me, but not to everybody else. I just laugh. I don't know. I can't make any more sense of it than you can. So I don't know. I haven't got the balls to do what you do.
And what do I do? That's,
You jump right into the fucking game and play it like
well,
Cirque does. Yeah. Knowing what you know about it, that it is truly what it is. And the two of you are special to me because even though you're in it, you're not a slave to it as your average person is. You don't defend the beast against the people trying to fix the problems, which usually happens in society.
well, no, I do see, you know, I see some of the stuff that's going on. I don't see all of it by any stretch of the imagination because I do live out in the boonies.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do see, I look at what I'm willing to put up with in order to get where I want to go. It's kind of like I look at it as what I did when I moved out here to the boonies. I was willing to put up with the extra work that I'm going to have to do out in the yard, the all of the other things that I'm going to have to do in order to have my quiet time, my away from everyone time, So it's a balancing act. And I think so long as you are willing to look at everything that is out there and make a conscious decision. That's the problem. There are so many people that just blindly follow along. Like people standing at the DMV, with your DMV thing. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
standing there to get their driver's license renewed, to do this, to do that, and they don't really understand what all it entails. Does it make it any better? Not necessarily, but at least I know what I'm getting into. And so therefore, it's a six of one, half a dozen of the other kind of thing. I know what I'm doing is I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, yeah, I'll probably renew my driver's license just because it will make it easier for me to continue doing what I wish to do right here. And I think I really honestly and truly think the only way that you can fix things is to show by example how you are dealing with it and how it can be done better. Show that better mousetrap, so to speak.
Yeah, I miss that feeling that I had when I was 15 and getting that driver's permit and all that horseshit. Because as you get older, well, as I got older, I keep saying you, but as I grew older, I started to realize the traps that were laid all around me. And then by the time Reagan took over the United States in 1980, it was clear to me at 20 years old that there was no future in without a what do you call it, your college education crap. Without all that, you weren't going to go anywhere. There's no self-made anything in this life. You got to have a bucket full of cash, or you're going to just work,
And yet,
whatever it is.
and yet some people really, I enjoy working. And it's like my brother Fudd says, you know, he's retired, but that doesn't mean that he's not working. It just means that now he's doing what he enjoys doing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah. When Cirque wants me to go out into the backyard and help her with a fence, that was fun. I mean, we do weird little tasks at in our garden and do a little gardening. Oh, the spring finally came, so we get to make some, grow some tomatoes and some peppers and shit like that, like she did last year. And it was really satisfying to do that. Even on that small of a thing, we didn't have like tons for everybody in the neighborhood, but we had enough for us.
Yeah, well, and see, there you go. That's what works.
Yeah, but you got two city people that are really kind of immature as far as society goes. They judge both of us pretty badly. But we were standing outside last week, just looked at each other, and she goes, "Do you believe we have a garden?" And we're just laughing about it because it's so unique to be in the position we're in together and see everybody else the way they are and be the way we are. And it's a level playing field for everybody. but there's certain truths in life that need to be faced. Like, we don't own the house that we live in. It's owned by a bank.
Yeah.
We just lease, yeah, we lease it from a bank, period. We don't live in the illusion about, oh, somebody's going to come take anything from us. We don't worry about the police are going to kick the door in or any, none of that exists here where we're at. If we were in the bigger city, things are falling apart a little in Copenhagen now, but it was still better in Copenhagen than it ever was in the States
Yeah.
because it was so much smaller. You know, when you're responsible, I keep saying that, when you're responsible to the people that you live around, you tend to, not shit in your own neighborhood so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We call it shitting in your own post toasties out here. But yeah, basically.
they still make post toasties.
Yes, they do, actually. Yes, they do.
How long has it been since you ate cereal in a box?
Uh,
Yeah.
I buy the bag cereal, but I make snack mix. And so,
Well, that GMO thing had me wigged out way back when I was in North Carolina.
see, and that's another one of those compromise things.
But
Because,
you don't know. Okay, but like the Stasi, you really don't know if it's true or if it's not. But the threat of it is devastating.
yeah.
It could be a big scam hoax for all we know, but if it's true, wow. So all the stuff the system does to me as an individual, I kind of expect other people feel the same way, but they don't. And there's very few that I find uh, respond to the social grind the way I do.
Well, and that's that's the wonderful thing about individuals is everybody responds differently. So, um,
Is that really the wonderful part? It seems that the wonderful part is when everybody likes you because you said what they wanted to hear.
and I tend to question that when people start getting entirely too agreeable with me. Then it's like, okay, what the hell do you want? That's where my mind goes sometimes. But and I know, there's lots of people that have issues with the things that I say, and I have issues with the things that a lot of other people say and do as well. But that is part of living around other beings. Is you have to learn to deal and compromise and come to some kind of agreement, some kind of mutual agreement. And so when I see this fun stuff going on, and I try to decide, okay, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Then I weigh the options
Uh-huh.
and go with whatever my gut tells me. So,
Oh, I just start out there. I'm very subjective.
I think the saddest part is that we're living in a world now where it's not what you say, but how you say it.
yes.
I mean, people can get away with saying the most horrible stuff by saying it with the right words in the right tone.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes people can say something very well intentioned, and yet others will take it as being derogatory or.
Remember, remember on the other site we were on, and I used to say to Cirque I type it to her. I go, "Hey, fucker," and other people would come and defend her from my rude vulgarity. It's just the way I talk. I type it, I say it. It's a word.
Well, you can talk about killing hundreds and thousands of people and nobody lifts an eyebrow if you do it with the right tone of voice and the right words.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. I got to have a lovely little in my face discussion the other day with that. Because, well, it's because they violated the rules of war. And it's like, what? You have fucking rules for war? And so, since they violated by putting things somewhere that you said is a no-no, that means it's okay for you to go and just bomb the shit out of it and kill any innocent people that just happen to be there. Because
Yep.
they're the bad people and they violated the rules and they put stuff where you're not supposed to put stuff.
Yeah, it's it's very neat to be the one to get to set the rules. I mean,
Yeah.
Rules.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, the aggressors of this planet are the ones who are making the rules about how to conduct war in a good way.
Yeah.
Would
It's
you
weird.
like wire or would you prefer the rope? We're tying you up with either today. I mean,
Oh,
wow.
wait a minute. I just looked through the rule book. On page
Yeah.
347, subparagraph 3, it says you cannot use barbed wire for that
Well,
kind of tying.
yeah, but it was the NFL that brought this shit all to the surface when the coach said, I misinterpreted the rules. And that fixed everything.
Yeah.
Wow, what a bunch of saps, man. Come on. People will believe it, anything that you tell them if you do it, like Cirque said, with the proper tone. Anyway, I'm dying to read this thing too because I am so excited about getting my driver's license renewed next year in your honor.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so I ended with the United States Supreme Court has stated ... We are of the opinion that there is a clear distinction in this particular between an individual and a corporation, and that the latter has no right to refuse to submit its books and papers for examination on the suit of the state. The individual may stand upon his constitutional rights as a citizen, it's capitalized. He is entitled to carry on his private business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited. He owes no duty to the state or to his neighbors to divulge his business or to open his doors to investigation, so far as it may tend to incriminate him. Wow, and that's halfway through this monster, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the legalese stuff that they write down, and then somehow it turns into $500 fine or 30 days. Well, and that, a speeding ticket or, some stupid infraction, you didn't wear your safety belt or your blinker light didn't work. And then it's your word against their word. It's a bunch of crap. Why do we waste our time, okay, and resources accusing somebody of something so unimportant and following through with a punishment on top of it? I mean, really, what is the goal of all this? When right here I just read they don't have a right to do these things to us.
But there are entirely too many people that don't understand that.
Okay, well, I know Hal's tried to make sense of the legal, from behind the woodshed, and I understand Hal just fine. As far as listening to him, he makes a lot of sense, and it led me to follow up on checking out legalese definitions on Google and pursuing certain words to see just what all this crap really means, and then following it to links where people have stood on the rights of the individual man the living man foraging for food. And wow, when I took a look at that, that's all I am. I'm a living man and I'm foraging for my next meal, period. It doesn't get any more complicated than that.
True.
But society complicated it, Mary.
I don't know that it was necessarily society as it was a certain bunch of people that said, hey, you know what? I know better than you. And they convinced the masses that they know better. And therefore the masses just went along with it simply because the masses were too lazy to do it themselves. And it's not necessarily a laziness as in I'm just going to sit back in my recliner and not do shit and eat popcorn and watch TV, which is still doing something, but, it is so much easier to acquiesce that responsibility to someone else. And then when the government does something to like their neighbor or to themselves, and they go, well, it was the government. It's a cop-out. That's what it is a cop-out. I didn't do it, the government did. So basically, people created the government so you can now have a cop-out. And you can say, I didn't do it, the government did.
Do you think it's easier to push people around that are complaining while you do it, or the people that don't complain? You think maybe the act of complaining serves as a vent? So you kind of just goes along, but it feels better because you get to vent it out?
Yeah, I do think that's it, because, you know, I mean, have you ever been around a bunch of cows if they're moving cattle?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, Grammy, the masses are asses. Um, when they're moving cattle, it's a lot of times they'll move really well, but you're always hearing this little going on
Yeah.
in the herd. But it's kind of weird when you watch, like, when they get quiet, then the cowboys get a lot more attentive to what they're doing, because when it's quiet, that's when you need to be concerned.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, I maybe it's like this, that in negotiations, the person who say this is non-negotiable and then stands there is negotiating. That's an act of, I'm gonna give in eventually because I'm still here. I may be bitching and talking and doing all these stuff, but truly and really, I'm gonna negotiate. Whereas a person who would say, this is non-negotiable, turn around and walk away. And don't speak anymore, don't say anymore, stop interacting. That's kind of a, this is non-negotiable.
Yep, that pretty
Yeah.
much said that.
So if you're on the news going, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing this, well, you're kind of doing it.
Yeah, because you're sitting there going,
Yeah, you're still talking about it. It's kind of like I'm moving. Well, I'm moving away. No, either you moved away, or you didn't.
true. Yeah.
Well, it's like my openness today about driving without a license is more verbal now that I'm not doing it anymore. When I was doing it, I didn't mention it to people because out in society, you really don't know who you can trust anymore. Somebody gets a wild hair up their ass, and the next thing you know, the cops are pulling you over for stealing the car that you borrowed.
Yeah.
And then the paperwork starts rolling in. Oh, you don't have a this, and oh, you don't have a that. And a lot of people are just unaware that you're there through your compliance. You just don't know how to fight it. So I learned how to fight it. And after I learned how to fight it, the cops never have stopped me since a certain point in my life. So I've never had the opportunity to stand up and say, well, this is what I am. It's just all in my head. So I've taken that idea to the level of, it's my reality that I'm living in. And if I don't want to attract bad things to me, it's my choice.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
whether I'm licensed or given permission by people I don't even care about in the first place doesn't influence me. Me and Cirque went and got ink before we got married. And I don't have anybody else's name inked on my body except Cirque.
And that's a very good point, Juan Ataco.
Yes.
Yes, you want somebody else to do your dirty business.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
life is so much easier when someone else is stuck with the responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I got accused of. Well, what if you wreck your car? And what if, and what if'd me to death about, well, you don't do what we want you to do. I said, well, when something happens, we'll deal with it. I wasn't running from anything. I stood my ground, but some part of my mind stopped attracting the police to bother me anymore, and it just ended. Haven't been stopped in 17 years.
And see, that's one thing on a different subject that I'm dealing with right now, especially at work, because we had a hailstorm come through, and it was
Yeah.
a freaky one. They kept saying until 10:30 at night they were saying no storms in the forecast, no storms in the forecast, and at about 2 in the morning, this big, bad, and nasty storm hit with 2-inch hail, and we got a lot of damage on the vehicles at the lot. Well, the new owner is pissed. Number one, he's never had to deal with this shit before, so he was miffed about it. And then he goes, well, our insurance company is going to drop us. And I said, that's just total bullshit. Because when you stop and think about it, and I know with my insurance on my house that you have to have, yada, 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 because all these rules, you have to buy this. Whether I make a claim for damages on my house or not, my insurance is going to go up because someone else in the area made a claim, and the insurance company's going to go, well, we've got to recoup our losses. Well, why don't you stop and think about all those damn times how long have you been collecting insurance premiums from me and I haven't made a claim? And then when I finally do, you go, oh, well, we're going to have to raise your rates, and we may just drop your ass. Really? I thought that's what insurance was for. And it's along the same lines with government. Well, you're going to have to do this, or you're going to have to do that, or you're going to have to do this because we said so. And then when you don't do those things, then they go, oh, well, we're going to drop your ass in jail.
Yep. And take it away, Cirque. This is Cirque's area. She knows about
No,
this shit.
I'm just gonna, the basic core principle of insurance is a beautiful one. I mean, insurance started with fire insurance. And it was pretty much just a bunch of people looking at each other going, we all share a risk. We all share the risk of our houses blowing up in flames. And if we, each and every one of us, got to save up money to insure our own house, the chances are that my house is not going to burn down, but, I still got to back up if I have a house so I can build another house in case it happens. And that's when you started putting risks together. All these people looked at each other and said, well, okay, all of our houses are not going to burn down. So if we put in enough money, we're 100 people, we put in enough money to build 10 houses, chances are we're not going to see 100 fires, but only 10.
Yeah.
But you see, nobody owned that. It was a union of people who said, oh.
Okay, see, and that's what I thought. Because I'm hearing the feedback, but
Oh.
you guys aren't, but they
No.
are on the radio.
Oh, well, we hear you really good.
It didn't work from our side?
We're special. No,
Oh.
you were gone.
Mm.
I sink like the Titanic.
Oh.
Glug, 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 glug. Yeah. I went down like Lady Gaga at a Rolling Stones concert.
Oh, Lord, that's just wrong.
What is? Inner Octopus's garden.
That's just...
Hey.
No,
I
going
thought it
down
was
like Lady Gaga. Whoa.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people have fun and others don't.
Okay. And see, it's just when you guys aren't talking that I hear the...
Mm.
So I
Well-
don't... It's got to be something on I don't know.
We'll get some dorks. We'll get the dorks on it.
Well, Mary, next time we make sure to have something running here that give feedback when we talk too.
Yeah. Maybe the dog will bark for you.
Mm.
Well, and I'm... Okay, why in the hell is that? Quit that. Quit it.
Okay, to continue my rant, he owes no such duty to the state, since he receives nothing therefrom, beyond the protection of his life, liberty, and property. His rights are such as the law of the land, long antecedent to the organization of the state. I have to look that word up to make sure what it means, and can only be taken from him by due process of law and in accordance with the Constitution. One more. Among his rights are the refusal to incriminate himself and the immunity of himself and his property from arrest or seizure except under warrant of law. He owes nothing to the public so long as he does not trespass upon their rights. And back to the driver's license. Members of my family just were up and just beside themselves because I wouldn't do something so simple as go down and just do what the law requires for me to do what I want to do. And I never saw it that way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh shit.
And here's the proof to back up what I believe is right here in black and white, and yet it's been manipulated, and now we just a bunch of follow the dots, follow the lines, follow the guy in front of you, and nobody knows where they're going.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a plan for nothing. Do you?
They're doing audio things.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
No,
I
keep
don't-
talking
I mean-
because they don't hear the ocean's roar.
No, all right, but I'm just curious. I don't live I don't live with a long goal plan, long range stuff. I just do whatever happens today, and deal with promises and all that. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll get to it. And some days I don't feel like doing shit, and some days I do. Cirque's got a great. What do you call that? I'm what? I don't negotiate.
No, you don't compromise.
Compromise. Yeah, I don't compromise. She says.
Wow.
But that's still, it's a matter of whatever stand a guy takes or a girl takes in their life. If you change that, that's your business. And if you stand your ground, that's your business too. It's not for other people, it's for yourself. That's the way I see it. And other people seem to think that their behavior and their actions somehow have something to do with me, and I don't think so. Only if I allow them to.
I think it's very obvious when you look at the world and the history of all this state bullshit.
From the statist.
The smaller shit are, the less of this bullshit you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Going back to the insurance as before, as long as it was 100 people living in the same street, neighbors, nobody needed regulations and laws, and nobody needed to make money off that or all that bullshit. It was pretty much 100 people who put collateral damage for a risk they share. But then things goes bigger and bigger and bigger, and you need all these regulations because now you are no longer facing your community. Now your community is so big that nobody gives a fuck about who they're going to face because they're not going to face anybody.
Well, that's
I mean, put Obama out on the street every Friday for a meet and greet. And I promise you, his politics would change very fast.
yeah.
The anonymity of society allows us to be the scum that people think we are. Whatever the other guy thinks of you is pretty much him looking in the mirror and then just talking about what he sees. But we're not raised to believe that. We're raised to think that we're separate individuals standing on our own and all this crap. It's a bunch of nonsense. And then they get you even more confused when they bring politics, religion, and education in to mold you. So, I don't know. I think we're doomed in some respects, and in some respects, we're living in paradise.
Hey, I think I got rid of the wave.
Whoa, baby. She got rid of her wave.
Okay, guys, does it sound better now? I changed a setting.
Ooh.
Ooh, what? Did you change your dress or did you change your... Oh, never mind. Try changing your shirt and see what happens.
No, well, there's no video going anyway, so. And I have a sports bra on, so there.
Me too.
Oh, hey, there you
And that's
go.
the problem.
Guess what? I'm not hearing that ocean's roar anymore. Are you guys not hearing it? Someone please let me know in the chat because I
Mary, I'm
changed.
thinking maybe you need double piercings in your nipples. That would make the signal go clearer.
Oh, it would
Yeah.
be like it would, they're my antenna.
Get the electric nipple vibrators. They're a blast.
Well, no, no.
I'm just saying it might clear out the signal.
Anyway.
Okay.
So my mission is to figure out a way to make you lean towards no driver's license. I wonder how that is going to work out.
You killed the wave. Oh no. Oh wait, that's good.
Yay! Alrighty. Okay. I'm not touching that setting ever again.
Oh, you said that. How many times have you said that?
No, because I had to take several steps just to get there, and it was a place where it was like, have I been here before? Let me go in and I'll check it out. So, yay! Sounds good now. Yay! Alrighty. Well, see, bonus round. I learned something new, and I need to. Yeah, Beth, sometimes twiddling does help.
Get to twiddling, sir.
All
It
right.
worked for Mary. I
Oh,
want-
Lord.
I want it to
Okay.
work for me too.
So now that we
Jokes.
no longer have the ocean's roar going on, um,
Oh, tweaking knobs.
I
Cool.
wasn't going to go there.
Well, I said if we didn't want to talk about the DMV, we could talk about boobs.
We did talk about boobs.
That's right. Somebody else brought it up. Knobs. Oh, okay. So
Knobs.
anyway, which as well as you can say right today, which way are you leaning? To compliance on the DMV or standing your ground as a traveler?
It depends on how this whole county commissioner thing goes.
Okay, so see, there's another side of that freedom thing to me, right? If you have to negotiate the terms of your freedom, then you're not free at all. You're being held captive against your will, basically, to acquire something. And if that's what you're doing, well, where does the freedom come in? Oh, I get to drive to work every day and hate everybody I look at. What?
Yeah. Well, I don't hate everybody I look at, but yeah.
Well, okay, but take I've been to Walmart in my life, for crying out loud. I didn't like it, but I had to eat or whatever, get something to fix something with, and that was the place where we would end up going to get whatever it was that was necessary. And what a horrible experience. And the people that work for them are treated so badly by them that they're not even nice to be around when you're buying shit in their fucking store.
But still, I want to see a Walmart in my life. It's like a fantasy unicorn kind of thing. You see it on the internet, in the media, and you go, is it real? Can it really be?
Yes, it is real. And I don't know. I don't enjoy that. I like this small, not being able to speak the language in town life. It's kind of challenging in a way. I've gone, I've been here for 2 years, over 2 years, and I have yet, since I left America, I haven't had an argument in public with anybody in 2 countries.
Ah. Well, and that's
it
good.
led me down that idea that I got that words are not the savior. Words are actually the problem. Communication seems to make things worse for people than a pleasant smile and a have a nice day.
Oh, what was that?
That was a motorcycle going down the street. We live on a main street.
Oh, okay.
And the Harleys are out because the sun came up.
Well, yeah. Oh, it's nice out and the wind's not blowing too bad. So as soon as I get done on this, I'm gonna go out and
Mhm.
work in the yard some more and finish putting my garden out and all that fun stuff. And
Practice your driving test.
Hmm.
yeah, with my mower.
I never learned how to drive anything.
Good.
I mean, I lived in Copenhagen. My bicycle was everything you ever needed.
Yeah. You can walk from one side of Copenhagen to the other in an hour,
Yeah.
so it's not really that big a deal anyway. But it was a nice town. I did enjoy it there. But I saw the city life coming at me, and oh no, I don't think so. Who ain't breathing hard?
Vince.
Whoa, why ain't he breathing hard? Get to breathing,
Well,
sport.
cause Grimmy said Vince just keeps on coming.
Ah.
Yeah, but bum bum. Um, in any case, yeah. Now that I've gotten that fixed, hot diggity dog, I feel a whole hell of a lot better now that I got rid of the frickin' ocean's roar.
Mm.
All thanks to the Dork Table and all its participants.
Yes.
Yeah, I was telling Cirque about this. We have a lot of private conversations away from the internet, and I'm blown away by the amount of intelligence I'm surrounded by that I see being wasted on frivolous crap that doesn't take anybody anywhere. It's like we've all been conditioned to not pursue anything.
Yeah.
And all the arguing and the bickering and the backbiting and shit. Like that coder guy I couldn't stand. You know, um, people radiate even through the internet world with me. I mean, sometimes I just get a bad feeling of I know that talking to certain people, no matter what I say, is going to end in shit. So I don't talk to them. I just cut it right at the beginning and say, nah, this ain't going to go anywhere. And I back out. And wow.
Well, that's because a lot of the modern so-called societies have been groomed to thinking that all movement is progress.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So
Yeah.
people just want stuff to move. And
Yeah, they keep the current flowing, but they're misled about what the current is. They think it's money and it's us. And it's not even our labor. It's just being alive and doing whatever the hell it is that you do. It just naturally adds to that flow. And I think money corrupts it.
I'm gonna go with that. I mean, money and the whole monetary system and the idea of ownership and trading in every form is um, is the true obstacle of any true progress. I mean, as long as you're gonna own stuff and trade it and barter it, you things are never gonna change.
Well,
We're,
because people are always in it for the money, you know. So
yes.
if you've got people that are trying to, I'm just going to I'm just going to do this because I'm in it for the money kind of mentality. You know,
Yeah.
if that's the mentality that's going to go, instead of doing it because it needs to be done, instead of doing it because you enjoy it, you know, people are, well, what's in it for me? That's where I see the problem is what's in it for me, and they always attach a dollar sign to it, and I
See, when it comes to like inventions, you cannot bury an invention nobody is claiming ownership of. Then it gets to live, and it people can embrace it and make it their own. The minute that you put a claiming of ownership on it and you want to trade it and barter it, then you can bury it.
yes.
And that's what's happening. Every time somebody makes some sort of progress, it's tied up to ownership and patents and all this bullshit, and then it's just going to get buried.
And then once it becomes patent, you know, once you get that patent, then the government steps in and says, "Oh, for national security reasons, which I understand that whole ship because, it is a matter of national security when you're looking at their national, you know, because if things aren't based on the petrodollar, if you completely eliminate the petrodollar, if you completely eliminate the dollar itself, then the national security is screwed up because that's how they keep secure. That's their job security is keeping us following in.
Besides, we can call it national security all we want, but it is only state security. That's what the word means.
Yes.
I mean, the national something is the national state.
Yes.
It's not a security of people or a security of interest. It's a security of state.
Yes.
See, she sounds just like Hal, and
I don't.
To me, I'm talking for me, dear, but I hear the way she's explaining her as clearly as I understand what Hal says. They're virtually the same thing, just coming from two different walks of life.
But you see, it's a good example. The kid who, a couple of years ago made the free 3D print drawings for how to 3D print your own gun. Yeah. He didn't sell it. He didn't patent. He didn't own. What he did was he made the drawings and he threw them free, open source, out on the internet. When the federal government came and said, "Oh, that's illegal. You can't do that. You got to take that back." All he could say was, "Yeah, okay, I can erase it from where I put it, but I put it out there, man. It's out there. Nobody owns this shit. I put it open source. Everybody took it and shared it and shared it and shared it and shared it."
Yeah.
And you cannot stop that. Had he patented it and put it not out there in the open, but with a patent number through the regular channels, they could have locked him down and buried it like this.
Yeah, like they've locked down and buried an awful lot of innovation and technology because it's for national security.
Yeah. But you cannot do that if you do not put a price on anything. Then nobody can bury it for you. Then it's out there.
Yeah, because, it's like I told my girls when they were little, especially my younger one, or when they were younger, not necessarily little, but when getting on the internet and stuff and putting pictures out there. And I said, once you put that out there, it's out there. No, I can delete it. Nuh-uh. Once you take it and you put it on something that's not on this computer, then once it's out there, all it takes is one person downloading it, and you have absolutely zero control over it after that.
Yeah.
Zero.
I don't have control over anything anyway.
So I'm never disappointed by the system. It always does exactly what I expect it to do. Burn my ass.
See, and I claim to have control over my bladder most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be seeing you on one of those, what do you call them, fails? The radio woman that's holding her legs together.
Yeah, well.
Animals. You brought something up, an old memory of mine. Years and years back in my 20s somewhere, I met somebody that gave me some advice. And at the time, I thought they were out of their fucking mind. And what the guy said was, "Boy, don't ever do anything for money that you're not willing to do for free."
Yes.
I understand it at my age now, but when I was, a headhunter in Palo Alto, I didn't get it.
See, and I can understand that because I remember growing up, and I mean, in our neighborhood, there were some elderly people there that, they couldn't do a lot of things for themselves anymore. Mm-hmm. And so all of us kids, that was just part of our Saturday morning routine was, we would go over to this house, or we would go over to that house, and we would see if they needed some help in the yard, or we would see if they needed some help in the house or what have you. And then as I got older and people said, So how much do you make doing that? And I'd look at him, and I'm sure I had that Bambi in the headlights look on my face, like, what do you mean, how much did I make? You're just supposed to do that, aren't you? I mean, I didn't realize you were supposed to
Yeah.
charge someone
Yeah.
to help them clean their house. I didn't realize you were supposed to charge someone to help them mow their yard or help them clean up tree branches you just did that. That was just the stuff that we did growing up.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I know people that make a damn good living cleaning other people's houses. And I think, wow, you could make a damn good living doing that anyway. Because, I mean, when we would go and help them, one of them would send home a pan of cinnamon rolls, that she had just finished baking. One of them would send home a jar of cream because they'd gotten their milk from the farmer and they'd skimmed the cream off and they'd sent the cream home with us. Stuff we got paid. It just wasn't a monetary thing, and it was always something that, oh wow, look at this, because this means that now I can help mom make, and we would have something to eat. So it was never, that's just the way we grew up. It really wasn't a thing where, you went out and you did this stuff for money. I mean, yeah, we got an allowance once a week so that we could go and buy candy or whatever on the way to the swimming pool, but ooh woo, I got a quarter a week allowance and I thought I was frickin' rich.
But see, the thing is that whatever is the first priority of anything is what will get done. That's the nature of stuff. Whatever is the first priority will be done. If you cannot play tennis on a basketball court. So if you are doing an invention because you want to change the world, you cannot make profit too. Because if you want to make profit, that has to be your number one priority. And then you will not change the world because then you will have to play on the basketball court.
True.
And you are bound to make money on the basketball court, but you will not get to play tennis then. You cannot do both.
No, definitely not at the same time.
And it's whatever we have as a first priority as individuals, as society, as one, as a group, as the world, as whatever context, whatever is your first priority is what you're going to get done.
Yeah.
And we can look at the world and see what are our main priority.
See, and that must be why I'm not filthy rich, because my priority is not to get rich.
Exactly. You are happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have people ask me all the time, so how you doing with your oils? Are you selling a lot? And I just look at them and go, no, I'm not selling shit. Well, why not? Because I give it away.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And I'm telling you, if we are investing into something and we're not getting what we want out of it, that means that we are not aware of our first priority. It means we probably think we are aware of our first priority, but we are not, because we're not getting it.
Yeah.
That'll put a nail in that box, won't it?
Yeah, it would. Well, and that's I think it's the need to acquire money, that maybe it's not necessarily money itself, but it's the need to acquire it in order to gain some kind of status or whatever the hell.
Well, where did they start beating that greed bone shit into us? Because I had that for a long time, but I haven't had it for a longer amount of time.
I don't know. I don't know when that started, but it's been for hundreds of years.
But I remember being a greedy little prick that wanted everything that was in front of me and was willing to do whatever it took to get it. And in my late 20s, something shifted and I went, fuck that. I don't want to do that. I broke in as a headhunter. That changed my whole life. I was going to be a headhunter. I was good at it too. I could get people to tell me stuff that personal financial matters on a telephone call, to see if they were qualified enough to get a better job. And it was just amazing. And I started to not like it.
Well, it's very rare. It's very few people on this planet whose first priority truly is money. There's always some other first priority behind that.
But they need money in this
But money
system.
is, yeah, money is the way to get there, or they think money is the way to get there. It's a choice. They use money to get there. But there's usually some other, maybe, I mean, for a lot of people, the first priority is then safety and security, or esteem and status, or comfort, or, a purpose, or a position. Very few people have money as their first priority. But the people who have money as their first priority, they are all very rich.
Yeah, yeah. But they
Yeah,
they
but
have a lot of money, but they're really not rich.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rich on money.
it's an illusion to me too. I don't know. I don't know. I can only be physically in one city in one, at one moment. So I don't see what the point of having a house in Florida and a house in New York and a house in LA. What's all that about? It's insane.
Mm.
Just to be able to say, I've got a house here and I've got a house there, and
Yeah, well, behind that is all sorts of first priorities. It can be the priority of position and status, or it can be the priority of security, of safety,
I like
of never running low on anything, or
I like being anonymous but recognized, but nobody knows quite what's going on. They just know something's going on.
but the thing is, if you take out money out of the equation, these people are still going to have security or position or status or whatever. All of these are still going to be their first priorities. They will just have to pick some other tool to get it. And maybe we can find a tool or a medium or an ether or whatever you want to call it that's a bit more productive than just money.
yeah. Beth just said that her daughter was going to work for NASA, and she left after 4 years and completely changed her career involving making cities work better, which is awesome. And I know a lot of people that have done that. They got into something because they thought, I'm going to make some money, I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to be able to do that, and they just weren't happy. And so they walked away from that and did something that they truly enjoyed, and now they're happy, and they don't, you know, they're also making a decent living, but they're not doing the get rich quick thing, and yet they're happy with what they're doing. They're enjoying. They like getting up in the morning and going to do what they do.
Yeah.
So,
Because most people are not very aware of what is my number one priority. They either think that they don't have to know, or they think you can have more than one number one priority, which you can't. I mean, then you're just not paying attention to the number one you have. Or
well,
they think it's a different one than what they have. They think maybe it's the money, and eventually they found out, no, I was looking for happiness, and I thought money would get it to me. And I'm not saying that money can't help you be happy, because of course it can.
but it can
Yeah,
also help you be
it's
miserable.
Yeah,
it's more of a weight around your throat. The more you got, the more you have to protect, and then you have friends you don't want because people are looking for stuff. It's the anonymous life. Being broke is so much more satisfying in the long run.
That is,
I go to bed at night. I don't give a shit about nothing, and I wake up in the morning and tell my dog to get her tongue out of my eye. And that's life. Just, hey, okay, Hannah, I'm getting up. Leave me alone. I'm getting up. And that's my biggest problem of the day. The damn dog, man, she woke me up with her nose in my face. Wow, I got a charmed life.
there you go. Well, guess what? We have run out of time, guys, and we finally got the
Yes.
settings figured out. So, yay!
yay!
And I no
Hey,
longer have the Kansas Ocean roar.
well, Dave, before we go, Dave gave me an idea because I posted all that stuff about the DMV, the driver's license and traveling and whatnot. And he had a comment. He said, it's really too bad we don't have access to our constitutional rights. And of course, he goes back to the 1872 paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of it is if you're born and raised with everybody talking Constitution on their lips, then in some level of reality, the fucking thing exists. You just got to know how to open the door to get to it.
Well, and
We'll
I
talk
think,
about that next time, huh?
yeah,
And I'm going to
yeah.
end it off with a constitution is a contract of the terms of the enslavement of the citizens. Nothing more.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I think people see it as, but actually, I think it is supposed to be something that just stipulates what's already there. You know,
Yes.
that's what it's supposed to be. You know, it's not supposed to be saying we are granting you these rights. It's supposed to say these
Identifying
are your rights. Know your rights and guard them and use them.
But see, without a government and a state, you wouldn't need a constitution.
That is true. That is
I
true.
mean,
That is true.
and it is nothing more than the contract you sign when you are hired or.
Okay, kiddies,
Yep.
stay
We're
tuned
off.
until next week when we continue the great debate.
Yeah, at the dork table, all the dorks. And if
Thanks.
anybody wants to join in, you know, if you want, I can put my Skype address in there or whatever now that I've got some shit fixed here. And Flash and Cert can put theirs in there. And you're more than welcome to join in, as in not just... I mean, my phone number's already on part of this stuff, so... or at least my Skype number, and maybe we can try that. See if somebody can call with my Skype number and see if I can actually get that to frickin' work since I got rid of the Ocean's Roar. I'm feeling like an overachiever now, let me tell you.
Well, there's a endless pool of knowledge at our fingertips. We just need to get together and figure out what it all means.
That's true. That is true.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening in and putting up with the foibles and the goof ups and the stops and starts, and we'll be back next